I'm gonna research that. There's hope. Guest posts. This is the thing I was saying. This is great. If you are trying to break into somewhere, submit content. If you have something to say, now don't submit content and have all these links in it and make it obvious. I'm trying to get a link back from you guys. I would actually recommend that you just submit content and don't even put a link in it. Ask for a link back to your blog or something like that. But don't get all silly with all this stuff, because then anybody who's paying attention is say, look, this person's just trying to use me. You want to set up a long-term relationship with somebody. The first way to do that is like anything else. That's why this whole freemium model is such a big deal on the internet, because that's the way you get people in, and then once they're in, they get used to you and they like you, things change. Theoretically. Everybody still wants everything for free, though. It doesn't work as well as you'd like. But anyway, guest post. How many people have actually submitted somewhere that they don't know the person? They don't know the... Okay. 2, 3. We're deciding as we go along. Yeah, I have. Oh, just do it. Everybody in this room should. You know, set it up that you do it once a quarter. I know it's asking a lot, because writing a blog post is a pain. For some people, how many people in here enjoy writing? Okay. Really enjoy it, or are you just saying that because it's a blogging thing?
No, I
enjoy writing. I enjoy it. I used to think that I was going to be able to somehow write the next great American novel. I can't tell a story. So that's out the window. But this is great. 250 words, I can say a few things. Kind of wrap it up. Intro paragraph, say something real meaty in the middle, make everybody upset, and then just wrap it up at the end. Bam! That's easy. I can do that all day long. 250 pages, totally different concept. Guest post, please do it. New ideas. Don't be afraid to experiment. Blogging, people think that blogging is waning because it's mundane. You know, it's, oh, who wants to read? I have a 14-year-old. Thankfully, she's not that involved in this whole, you know, she texts like crazy. It's just sickening. But I see her trying to do something beyond this. Here's the thing. Everybody's saying, well, the next generation, when they come up, it's all going to be digital. It's all going to be this. I'm going to tell you right now, that's wrong. And here's why. Because if they don't like to email now, go ahead and tell IBM that you don't want to email when you've got the job with them. You're going to say, you know what? Get out. I'm taking that guy who understands how we do things. That's not going to change. Email has properties, which is paper trails, all the things that are properties of it. So regardless of what your attitude is, you got to use it. And the same thing's going to happen with blogging, because 140 characters of something is nothing. Okay? And a Facebook status update is not a novel. It is not information. It's a piece of something. It's an insight. It's a window. And I know I'm soapboxing this here, but this is what I really believe is going to happen. Because people, when you get older, you have more to say. You understand that you need to say it differently. And you're not going to be able to just do 140 characters. So anybody who thinks that this whole thing is going to go away in your lifetime, it's not. In fact, it's only going to become more important. Because people are going to understand it better. Right now, people are all enamored with, oh, social media, woo. It's great. I admit, it is great. I love it. But it's not the beginning and end all. It's just another channel. Okay? And then I've already told you this, but I'm not ashamed of this. Copy good ideas. And, what is it? Imitation is sincere form of flattery. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as you do it openly, please, as a blogger, make sure. Bless you.
Thank you.
Please, as a blogger, make sure that you're using blogger etiquette. Don't take something and then just act as if you're the brilliant mind that came up with it. If you took it from someone else, make sure that other person is given proper attribution. And that is, in our world, that's a link. And some recognition. I take stuff from TechCrunch all the time. TechCrunch is a great source for me. They have great writers over there. I've not met any of them, but I know how each of them write, and it's kind of interesting. Like, oh yeah, this is actually Michael Arrington. This is going to be something. He's trying to poke somebody and make somebody really pissed off. That's what this guy does. That's how he sold his blog for a lot of money. And then there's different writers and all this. And I look at them and I'm like, you know what? That's really smart. And Andy does this all the time. It's actually where I learned it from. Andy Beal does it all the time. It's like, I'm not ashamed to say that I don't know everything. That's another thing. Please, just be genuine, be honest. Don't act as if you've got all the answers, because you don't. You don't. You got a lot of them. You probably have some really good ones, and that's great. But when you act, again, if you see something in your industry that you don't like, be careful, because you are going to set yourself up possibly as that person. But if you can see it forward, if you can say, okay, if I say something here today, you're going to have to do it like a chess match. Think what's going to happen weeks down the line. What could potentially, how could this derail? How could this go wrong? If I say this, am I committing to this position? And if I do, will that cause problems here, here, and here? Or, when I commit to this position here, will there be benefit here, 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 and here? And then if there's a little bit of both, weigh it and decide what you want to do. But controversy will have its pluses and its minuses, just like anything else. I will say on the internet it sells. Because, for instance, on our blog, Andy, for those of you that read it, if anybody saw this post, Andy did this thing over the weekend where he put out a series of tweets, and they were like this. The mindset was, I'm getting on a plane at such and such airport because I'm so important, and I want you to think that you're not. You know those, wheels down in Seattle. I don't care. I don't care. I just hope it's wheels down. I mean, I'll be more interested if you flipped over than any landed. Then we got news. But all that kind of stuff, he made fun of it in a bunch of tweets. And boy, the social media world loved it. We have one of our highest retweet numbers for that. I write something about something that Google does that's actually really important, and everybody's like, so Andy said, maybe we should just become the TMZ of the search marketing industry and just go out and just wreak havoc all over the place. And, who cares about quality? Traffic. I'm thinking about it. Great conversation. This is last on the list, but honestly, for small businesses, this is your referral thing. This is your thing that makes businesses work. This is the thing that, one more little thing. For those of you who are in any business, but if you own a business, what is your greatest source of new business? Just like every other group. Now, here's the one thing I want you to think about. Do you think you've ever lost a referral? Probably, right? That kind of, one person said something, just because a friend said it, doesn't mean that it's going to work. Because if you're the friend that I know, I'm one of 3 people that he's asked. So he's now got 3 options, not 1. He trusts me, but he knows that sometimes I can be a little stupid. So he's going to say, all right, let's talk over here to Bill or to Tom. Blogging and creating conversation is often a tiebreaker, because people go home and it's 10 o'clock at night and they put their feet up and they have the laptop going, they got the TV on, and they start doing their research from the information that they found out today. And they're like, man, I've got 3 different plumbers or 3 different shops I want to go talk to. First thing I want to do is see what they look like online. I'm internet savvy, I'm cool. I want to see if they are. Well, if you don't have a blog, and you're not creating conversation, but the other guy is, there's a good chance you're going to lose that referral. That's tragic. Mm-hmm. That is tragic. So create that conversation, show people that you care, get it done, okay? And then all of this is about creating value. If you can't point back to your blog being valuable to somebody, then you are just writing. And that's okay. I'm not going to sit here and tell people don't write. I think it's great. It's a great outlet. It's great for a lot of different reasons. But if you're not doing something with the intent of creating value for your business, for yourself, or most importantly, for someone else, because the business comes from creating value for that other person. If you're doing it self-centered, in a self-centered way, because I have to think about all the time when I'm writing, what do my readers want to see? I know what I want to say, but none of my readers are going to give a rip. So I want to figure it out, like, what do they want to hear about this? Now I'm starting to think like a lot of those people. I'm very concerned. But I'm just joking. But create value. And that's going to be the thing that makes the difference. All right, now we've got, how much time, Nicole?
45 minutes.
45 minutes?
No. So 1:30. 1:15.
Half an hour.
A little less.
Which will cause somebody to want to promote what they're doing on our blog. I'm kind of piggybacking on Andy's popularity. He's built this blog over the course of these 5 years. I've contributed for the last 2.5 to 3. So I've been involved in it all along. And he's taken time off from it completely where I'm the only contributor. So, you know, I do a lot of writing there.
Yeah, you do.
And the thing is, I'm starting to see that, you know what, we need to do something different. We can only ride that for so long. And he's now transitioning because Tracker is doing so well. The reason I've been coming to do this is because he's putting all of his time into Tracker. So I think that if somebody sees value in these channels, they're going to want to go out and tell everybody. Now, I'm not going to ever have, we're not going to have Mashable kind of numbers. We're not going to have TechCrunchy kind of numbers because we're not trying to build a huge staff. We don't want to have, you know, we don't have people crawling all over the place saying we're little marketing pilgrims. We want to keep it the way that it is. So it's kind of a different play because I'm more interested in the right kind of person versus the volume. So the distribution is going to be dependent upon who I'm trying to get versus how many I'm trying to get. It's like somebody who has all those thousands of followers on Twitter and most of them are bots and you know, all that other crap that's out there. I don't want that. I don't want any of that. So I may not have answered your question. I'm thinking about political career.
That was my thought.
So what do you recommend in terms of distribution of a blog or building readership for instance, people in this room that are small business owners? That
Talk about it every time you're in front of somebody. Mention it. That's, I mean, what else can you do? Nobody's out there looking for, oh, no, it's going to stop the friend. That's an 800 number, trying to sell me something. Oh.
Hello.
Anyway, yeah, that would have been funny. That would have been great. Get your videos after that. The small business environment is very different because small business people and even just people who are looking around locally don't necessarily, they're not searching these things out. So a blog is kind of like a Facebook page to me when it comes to a business. Facebook pages, in my estimation, don't attract new people. They solidify existing communities, and then those communities go out and attract new people. That's the way I look at it. Does it sneeze? So it's the same thing. I think it's just promote, but of course don't hammer it into the ground where you know it becomes ridiculous, where that's all you ever talk about. And the thing is, if you're going to promote it, make sure you're updating it, and that's my biggest fear. If you promote the heck out of something and then you go radio silence for a month, you're actually doing yourself damage. So be very careful. Be committed to it. Oh, hands are flying now. A new one. Just a second. And then in the back, I'm sorry. Did you have a question? No? Okay.
Do you have any suggestions for good ways to get people to interact or respond to your posts?
No, and I wish I did. Because honestly, comments, and this is from Andy, who's got a lot more experience in this than I do from actually running it. Twitter has killed commenting on blogs. Because people tend to pass around posts rather than comment on them. And you find a lot of times people are commenting, depending on who you are, hopefully it's small business people aren't attracting a lot of trolls. But, you know, they shouldn't be. Larger things like we do, get them all the time. They're just out there and they just want to ruffle somebody's feathers. So making someone comment, I mean, you put it at the post all the time. What's your take? What are your thoughts? You know, how do you perceive this? Do you agree or disagree? I would just try to see which one is like an A/B testing of a paid search ad. You know, what one makes actually somebody say something. I've actually put up posts to my personal blog that are, you know, would you please comment? That's the title of the blog post. Somebody please say something, you know. That,
Are you actually, I mean, you're allowed to ask them to comment, right, at the end of your blog?
Always.
Do you offer
the same thing as a website, calls to action. People need to be dragged around by their nose to do something. If you're on a website and there's no call to action, they're gonna leave. They like to be dragged around, and it's not a bad thing because the internet, for the average person, is confusing. We have to remember that. If you're working in the internet and you're blogging, you have to remember the average user